Hello. Good day to you all. There. Might be this is the better introduction screen, if you're to be honest. Planning to do only a short stream. Time sort of ran past today, but I wanted to try doing some work on stream that I don't know if I've done before. But it would be interesting to see whether or not I'm actually able to do that kind of work on stream. Not that it'll be much relevant for a long time moving forward, since once this part is done, I'll mainly be focusing on the inking and coloring of things. So be prepared for mainly inking streams from for the next year or so. However, before the next year or so, I gotta do some writing. And what we got here is this little spec here is my drafting document. Let's open that and see how it looks. This is basically where I keep the whole story writing. Now, if I remember correctly, I did some restructuring of this document, but I can flip through parts of this because I set it to be like a timeline. Now, what we got here is, let's see, this is the scene 2 or so. I wonder if I can zoom in far enough to see numbers. Barely. So that's half an issue. Yeah. This is the format I draft in. I've been mentioning that I don't really do writing per se, or at least working in texts exclusively is super hard. I can do notes, but I cannot do large batches of detailed writing because it just doesn't work. I'll try not to move too deep into spoiler land, but there will obviously be spoilers. For any Norwegian souls out there waiting for the next book, I suggest not really close your eyes. Don't watch this stream. I think that's the safest way to put it. But yeah, one can see here that in this document I got all the scenes in folders. Every scene is its own folders, and as a bonus to just help myself out a bit, to avoid having to be like hide, unhide whenever I want to move back and forth between these, I figured I can just add them to a timeline as frames, and now I can flip through easy, and I kind of love that. Now, spoilers there will be, however, there will be very little context, and so I'm going to find the one spot where I need to rewrite things. Which is here. This is the spot. Now we got someone popping up. This is basically a thumbnailing / script writing thing. Well, not exactly thumbnailing, because I can still change a lot of the layouts here. Now, alright. So this is what's going to be interesting for me to see, and probably not interesting for anyone else to see. Whether or not I actually manage, well, depending on how it goes, whether or not I manage to do rewriting. I figured maybe there's an element of rubber ducking possible if I am streaming, especially with this upbeat Nintendo music going on. Oh, also, I gotta mention that I'll be away for a couple of weeks, so there will be quite low streaming presence for me. Not that long breaks is uncommon on this channel, but just so you know, I'm disappearing for a couple of weeks. Summer is coming, and during summer things happen. So I gotta go do summer things. Okay, we got this scene here, scene 6 going on. Here I got a little thingy called scene info. What is this? It is mostly notes. Up here I got my own little note-keeping thing. Basically, when I write the scene, I'm like, okay, I gotta write the just the keywords and very rough paragraph of what's gonna happen. Now, I would probably write this out with a text tool, but Clip Studio kind of doesn't like having a lot of text, having lots of letters in one particular text box. At least on version 1. I don't know about the newer versions. I feel versions are just rapidly moving forward, and I am not intending to keep up. So I'm living with the jank. For now, I don't feel like I have the money to do much nowadays. So what we got here, yeah, I got my scene description, which is just what's gonna happen, and this one, scene goals, is what will we learn? Basically a way for me to keep track of what role a scene does play. Like, does it check any boxes in terms of teaching the reader anything new? I would probably like to do a video running through this template, because I really like it. This is what kind of helped me break free from not necessarily an art block, but from I felt just totally blocked from working with a script. Felt impossible, and this document here, structure of it, very easy to use, very it allows me to be messy in a good way, which I really like. Now the scene goes, basically if I write lots of stuff happens, and I have a few goals that I want to run by, like either making a point, a character has to learn something and show it, or that a reader is supposed to learn something, or like anything. If stuff happens and none of the boxes get ticked, then you know the scene is not doing what you want, and you might as well scrap it. You can also use this to note, like, what do you learn? It doesn't have to be goals, necessarily. It can be just like, what did we learn? What did we learn at school today, Timmy? So that's the gist of it. Stuff happens and we learn. Very good. Problem here is that this is quite a long scene. the whole document, I think I've allowed it for it to have a maximum of 20 pages total each scene. So I work in scenes, and as a way to keep track of pacing as well, no scene is allowed to breach the 20-page mark. Because what are you going to do with such a long scene, you know? Gotta move things forward. That's another problem I also have, like with story stuff, is the conversations tend to drag for the longest time, and suddenly everything is just talking and super boring and nothing happens. On the other hand, this comic is quite a lot of running and chasing and chaos, while everything is scary, but what does actually happen? I don't know. So, I'm considering whether or not I should break this up. Yes, I should. Okay, this here is a solid breaking point. We can use that. Our heroes, the annoying kids, have been chased up a tree. And they are quite in trouble. Okay, actually I take back the breaking point. I think perhaps around here is a good point, because I'm supposed to add something here. So in order to add a page or add a scene, I will have to add a new frame. Is it this button? Yes. Cool. We have a scene. And Clip Studio sort of copies all the initial layers in case you want to replicate stuff. I think I want to copy bits of this. Now we gotta know what's going on. That's a good iconic picture. This is they are in trouble, and suddenly, ba-bam, character appears. Yeah, and then I can just copy. There's no critical information in here, so I copy that. I paste it. And since this is mainly a reference, I'm not sure where to keep it. What I like to do is if I end a scene on like the left-hand page, then the next scene continues. The reader won't necessarily notice that I'm changing scenes, but like it will transition from one scene to the other. For now, this is going to be just the first draft of a thing. I'll delete the skiz. We'll keep the skiz version 1. This here will be, oops, draft. We'll give it whatever color, just to show that it's not related to... Oh yeah, nice. I can delete this part. This is like, I doodle a lot in the what do you call it? The gutter. I doodle a lot. This is a way to simulate the sort of being messy in a notebook feeling, which I do enjoy being messy in a notebook, but I hate having to transfer that to the computer or anything really. So this is what I do, and it's sort of fun. So I'll also shrink this, possibly just scoot things down a bit. This is only cosmetic stuff. I'm just procrastinating a bit. Also making sure that everything that I stuff at the top is readable. Now, that's what we got. We're going to end the scene sort of thing is, I'm sort of injecting a scene into this. So I'm deleting that. Just looking over. These are old versions. Oops. I gotta also make some notes. Establish how would it be? Fogsters? No. Fog walkers. That's a good one. Probably not what the eventual translation will say or call it, but the idea is that they're not zombies. They are people with a clouded minds, as if ridden by a fog in their brains or something. Now, these are the goals. One critique that the editor had for my current draft is that it was a lot of running around and very little sitting down and relaxing, or waiting, or just having moments of not running around. And so, what's happening here? The girl pops up and helps them down from the tree. I wish Windows and Wacom had way quicker reaction times when it comes to pen strokes very close to each other. When I write, I typically write quite small, and so sometimes lines will be connected in annoying ways. I register as single strokes. Just things that have never been good. Okay, what are we writing? Cass. the lines in the background is to help me write straight-ish. But as you can see, I am not at all following at least the line distance. At this point, I write whatever. I just gotta write something, you know. And it is healthy to not be too critical at this stage, because it will be whatever. Ideally, I do not really write dialogue here. I think I'm going to write this, like I add this to the sketch layer and just add it here instead. Alright, so I did a copy of that layer so I can do adjustments. Alright, I'm moving this part down for a bit. And this part should be partially. I'm going to copy this instead of moving it right away. now. Use that as reference. Now she says, yeah, I'm gonna copy parts of this. Let's just do that. Oh crap, saving. Did you know that if you save your progress with a selection active, saving takes a lot longer? So what are they doing? Boys are confused. What else about them? Let's see. This frame leaves. What's the dialogue here? Alright. I'm gonna copy that too, honestly. I want this. As you can see, handwriting. I am lazy. I don't want to write the same text several times. I just want to move it, man. I'm gonna move it and not have to do double the work. Do I want to use... Let's move this away. I always like to pull stuff just to the side instead of deleting it in case I get, like, in case I need it later. I usually don't, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to delete it, I just want to see how it goes. Now, so this guy, the main difference here is that this guy isn't there. He's not jumping in to grab her. Yeah, and he's not grabbing her. This one. So she's being bossy here. Maybe I just delete this. Oh, that's thick. We don't want thick. We need skinny. Now, is it... Now this is like a partial first draft layout stage where I only have to tell... I gotta construct a picture to show what's going on. The layout doesn't have to be good, but ideally the action has to be clear. It's a way to sort of break it up before, like, not having to solve too many problems at once. No, do I want it more like a... Okay, I was about to draw him jumping off, but I think it's better if I do this kind of shot where we zoom in on them. Oh, I keep selecting the wrong tool. You may see that I'm writing the dialogue aside and just putting in the like letters to indicate what order stuff is read in. Pick this up from a friend of mine who does comic. His method was doing this on paper, but with his thumbnails like very small, so you could basically, it wouldn't fit the dialogue in. I picked this up and I really like the way it works because it helps me. It lets me edit dialogue without having to make more space for it in the actual thumbnail, which is also very good when when you're at this stage where you're not setting anything in stone, you're just trying out stuff. Just trying out stuff. So it's not worth the effort to write lots of dialogue. Little silence intermission. Oh, I'm forgetting, I also got other stuff to do. All right. These trees are spiky. I find that the good thing about this layout or this document is that I am allowed to goof around and have space to doodle stuff that isn't important. Like if I'm opening this, if I'm in a huge writing phase, I don't always feel like doing the writing or like layouting new story stuff. In which case, on those days, I will be like, I'm looking at this scene and I'm not feeling it. Guess I'll just doodle some more. Like, I'll be start drawing circles or drawing whatever. Drawing dumb birds. Birds in the brain. Yeah, so I can just do that. And usually what happens is that my mind sort of doesn't get kick-started, but it gets a slow start. And I get sort of eased into doing at least something useful. Of course, it doesn't always work out, but it's a way to deal sometimes. You know, you don't always feel like doing work. I never feel like doing work. Sometimes I feel like doing some other types of work than the work that's before me, and that's really frustrating. Alright, then for the next gotta show the action. Biggest mistakes in storyboarding is when you don't dare showing the action. I still cannot fathom whoever storyboarded parts of the fourth Matrix movie who was just... There's a scene with this hacker person doing some hacker shenanigans, and everything is only shots of the person being sweaty and trying to do stuff, but you don't ever see what's actually happening, and that enraged me so hard. So don't skimp on the action, show what's happening, that's the interesting part. If you can't figure out what's happening, maybe write something else. Sorry, I'm being snarky here. But it is a common mistake. Also in comics, both storyboarding and comics is it's a trap, a very common trap to fall in. Still a distraction intermezzo. I'm not good with, you know, keeping at it on my own without yes, words. Insert words. I can yap a lot, but it's maintaining focus can be. It's a dice roll, depending on what kind of day it is. Sorry, just looking at birds, doing bird things, and checking on their sound quality. Alright. Should I maybe keep a slideshow of the actual characters somewhere? No. We don't need interesting displays here. Now, as you can see here, this page is effectively this page. It's the same, only that one is edited and one is not. So, absolutely ideally, I keep any scene shorter than somewhere below 20 pages, just so I have space for the reference to the previous scene. It's like, if I don't have stuff in front of me, I do not know it. It's quite bad. Okay. So the boys jump and whoever's down here, they're completely dazed. Oh, this is part 2 that isn't... It's not going to be here. Or well... Gonna note. I often refer to this as the amoeba stage. This here is something that I never feel confident that it's the right thing to do, because you can't go too frequent on reaction shots. But what I basically try to do is having enough variation between panels on a page. Okay, now here, the exits on bushes. I think it's a way to transition the scene. have the cave going on. Basically have where the tree was. They have moved somewhere. Forest-like. Like in here, you can't really see what's going on. I'll just have to know. It's rough, but if I draw some stick figures, I will know that it's supposed to be lots of people here. Reno comes out of the bushes. That doesn't have to be too big a panel, let's be honest. One thing I also like to be wary of is having too few panels per page. Depends on the action, of course, but if there are... Well, in general, I like to sort of challenge how many panels I can get into a page. I know a lot of modern American comics manage to stuff a lot in, but in general, at least to me, it's kind of hard to have any more than, I don't know, man, 6 panels per page. Oh, hi Casey! Welcome! Back to work? Please don't go, I'm very lonely. No! So, I'm writing comics here. This is how I work, about doodling stuff. And we're having progress, which is cool. But yeah, I've got very few panels on this page here, so I feel like I gotta make it count for the next stuff. Sometimes I like to just add random panels to see how they will read. See if they are acceptable. I think I want to keep some sort of nature, structure, level, something. But I have no clue. Since I don't know really what is here, I don't know how to make it readable. Yeah, that's good for now. Here's just some cropped off stuff that I can delete.
Thank you so much for to playing my game.
Man, I remember when I was back when I was a kid. And I beat Super Mario 64 for the first time, and I was almost crying from how beautiful the credits track was. And I was so moved that I had to beat Final Bowser another time just to hear the tune again. That was good times. Goodness. What is going on? The bird stepping on things. Has bird considered not to be stepping on things? But other bird decides to not move, but hold it till it leaves a poop. Oh well. All right. This is the type of work where keeping focus and not get derailed, distracted by picking on stuff on like I'm terrible with like I start picking on skin and bumps while I do this sort of hard required writing stuff. It's a terrible habit, terrible impulse. It would probably benefit me to learn to not do that, even if it's only for self-care, but I do think it would be beneficial to also productivity. It's this sort of don't want to work is hard impulse. So I pretend to be thinking, just pick on stuff instead. Terrible. So, boys follow this girl in through the bushes. She's like, quiet, follow me. This way. And so we have the terrible case of having to do introductions. Oh, I hate writing introductions. And I think I know why. I hate writing introductions because I feel terrible at, and I'm probably not very skilled at introducing myself. That's my humble guess. Seems simple enough. Okay, so where are they? Right, so this here. Here's my first spot in the thing where I'm introducing the vocabulary, the fog walkers. I often draw these things too big. Now we're just exploring some composition. I tend to want to be clear about what things are, just to help myself out, but for story purposes, it's usually not important. In this case here, I usually run by it with just vibes in mind. If I get a cool visual idea, I will try to go for it and see how it works. Oh no, I did have a good idea for like how to transition away from this scene and onto the next, but right now I've forgotten it. Now, obviously, I can't have two whole panels on the entire page. Oh no, I can't do that. You can't. This is annoying. When character, you have to just. Sometimes the characters have to be the Watson who asks all the things, and now I did an annoying thing, which is ask for a definition or like keep asking questions and rapid question asking. I'm not into that. It is bad. It is bad writing. No, I'm not gonna solve it now. I'm just gonna move forward and see if it will work. And while the mind is having a little rest, I usually dilly-dally with adding some depth or detailing to these very beautiful pictures. But everything is better than nothing. Also anything. A MOBA is better than not having anything. As I progress, I gotta move down the reference. That's fine. This is too big. I'm gonna check my earlier writings. Hmm. Oh no. I'm deep in like dialogue land. Remember to save your progress, folks. Right, so I want to transition to them realizing that the pirates are going to be cursed. But at the same time, they will have a dramatic sequence. I suppose they are going to be... They're going to realize that, oh no, the rats are going to be cursed, and then they'll be interrupted, or as they are going to go, the guy interrupts them, and the boys follow the guy who picks up the princess. Instead of going home, and then we transition over to the rats, and everything continues as normal. Seems reasonable, yeah? This is without doing the introductions. It's getting late. Huh. I've been up for 2 hours already. I'm happy with how this is going though. I've had on my list to do this rewrite for a good while. Oh, how do I make this natural sounding conversation that doesn't get annoying from the boys asking too many questions? Guess this is the first hard part. Oh dear. I'm looking on some pigeon on pigeon action. Romantic. Hmm. Any hard workers in chat? Probably not. Now my art skills are, or art muscles are feeling kind of weary. Like doing any sort of detailing is just time consuming and not really relevant. Which is fine. You can always detail later. Right, we're another half hour down. I'm getting hungry. What have we done so far? very little. And that's how quick it goes. You see, I've been layouting and just trying to make some dialogue and action happen, but it isn't quick. All that stuff goes really slowly, but here I'm sort of brainstorming dialogue sequences, parts of it, snippets, and over a few iterations I end up with something that's hopefully probably usable. So we're here, she's explaining the fogwalkers, which is good. I think stuff is moving slow, but I will not check this one just yet. The editor commented that he didn't like the title Revrova's Curse, though I feel like the theme going on sort of fits. There's gonna be a third book. I don't have a title for it yet, but this will be good. But yeah. Well done, fellas. I think I'll call it for today. As mentioned, there won't be any streams for a while now. I'll be away a couple of weeks. But after that, I do hope to be quite active for a while. To catch up, if you will. I do enjoy the streaming and find that it is, to an extent, helpful for both focus and for, I mean, the fun part of it is that it's basically documenting this project in the making. Like, I cannot for the life of me do a big project like this unmanaged and unseen. Like, I can't do that stuff in the shadows and suddenly present the finalized product. I need someone to be looming over me, demanding that I finish, or at least do something. So yeah, let's just see. Move on to the outro image. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me. Hope you guys who are watching this back, hope you enjoyed. I wish you all a creative day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.